If you take their word for it, more than half the rappers in the world of hip-hop should be convicted felons. From drug dealing to gun smuggling to fighting in the streets, rap music and crime are inextricably linked to hundreds of MCs throughout rap's history. So many rappers claim to be thugs, gangsters, and criminals, but how many really are? Of course, for the vast majority of artists, these supposed criminal activities are little more than a flashy and amusing way to fill time on hit songs. However, there are a handful of hip-hop icons with surprising and bona fide criminal records. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today, we'll be looking at the 8 rappers you didn't know were criminals. Yeah, you heard it right. So, let's start our video. Number 1. Lil Wayne. On July 22, 2007, Lil Wayne played his first headlining show at the Beacon Theater in New York City and decided to celebrate like many rappers claim they do. Party time. Lil Wayne and another man were smoking marijuana near the rapper's touring van when a police officer accosted the rap star. Following a brief search, the officer found a gun in a bag by Wayne's side that was registered to his manager. The rapper was charged with criminal possession of a weapon. In October 2009, Wayne pleaded guilty to attempted criminal possession of a weapon and was expected to serve a year in prison for his crime. Number 2. Gucci Mane. A quick Google search shows that Gucci Mane has a criminal record long enough to make him fit in an episode of The Sopranos. But his most infamous crime is one he was never sentenced for. In May of 2005, Gucci Mane was attacked by a group of men in Decatur, Georgia, and his crew didn't take the aggression kindly. Guns were drawn. The body of Pookie Locke, one of Gucci's attackers, was later found behind a nearby middle school. To his credit, Gucci Mane turned himself in, claiming he shot in self-defense. Eventually, Gucci got off free when county prosecutors dropped the case for lack of sufficient evidence. Number 3. Cassidy. The West Oak Lane neighborhood in northern Philadelphia was anything but quiet on April 15, 2005. Rapper Cassidy and 2 of his friends, strapped to the nines with pistols and an AK-47, got into an argument with 3 unarmed men, and things turned violent fast. Desmond Hawkins, one of the 3 men who angered Cassidy's posse that night, was fatally shot in the back. His 2 friends ended up in the hospital. Cassidy's crew ended up in court. While the case looked pretty open and shut to start, a series of holdups on behalf of the prosecution resulted in the trial constantly moving in Cassidy's favor. Original charges of first-degree murder were downgraded when the prosecutor's primary witness withdrew testimony, and Cassidy was charged with third-degree murder. Eventually, he was sentenced to involuntary manslaughter, a crime that he would serve only 8 months for. If you run into Cassidy in the streets of North Philly, do not piss him off. Number 4. Tupac Shakur. While Tupac is widely considered one of the greatest rappers of all time and largely acclaimed for his socially progressive lyrics on many tracks, he was convicted in 1995 of the ugliest of offenses. He and several members of his posse were charged with sexual assault when a 19-year-old woman claimed that Shakur and his crew entered her hotel room and raped her. Pac maintained his innocence, but a judge thought otherwise. In December of 1994, Tupac was convicted of sexual abuse and served 4 months in prison with 5 years of probation to be completed upon his release. Number 5. Fat Joe. Legendary New York City Golden Era spitter Fat Joe has had his share of legal troubles, but ended up in jail for a somewhat mundane offense. In 1998, the MC was arrested for alleged assault and robbery. He and fellow rapper Big Pun were accused of beating a man with a baseball bat and stealing his gold necklace. Later in 2002, Fat Joe was slapped with another assault charge for allegedly getting into a fight at BB King's Blue Club in New York City. Neither charge stuck though, and Fat Joe never saw amended prison time for another decade. Number 6. Chief Keef. While Chicago MC Chief Keef may not have the longest running legal record in hip-hop, he got a very early start in his life of crime. At 16, the young MC got into an altercation with the police that involved a chase on foot. The police opened fire but did not hit him. He ended up with a juvenile detention sentence for the youngster. Hopefully, the young rapper will leave his parole violations and grandma's house arrest behind and be able to focus on his career in the future. Number 7. Lil Kim. That's right, everyone forgets that Lil Kim did a stint in jail, but this 90s era friend of the notorious B.I.G. has a record as bona fide as the hardest criminals on the list. While she was merely in the wrong place at the wrong time, she also lied at the worst possible time. In 2001, Lil Kim and her entourage had a run-in with another rap act, Capone and Norega, outside of a popular New York City radio station. Shots were fired, though Kim was never charged for being involved. Instead, she was found guilty in 2005 of lying to a federal grand jury. Number 8. Meek Mill. While Meek Mill has been rapping since 2003, he has only gained some larger notoriety and fame since 2008, the same year he was first convicted of drug dealing and gun charges. The MC served 6 months in prison and is still completing a probation term related to the 2008 charges. Despite being on probation, Meek Mill hasn't been on his best behavior. Recently, he received one of the most amusing sentences in the history of rap music. In 2013, Meek appeared in court for violating probation by not informing his probation officer when he had to travel for shows. While in the courtroom, Mr. Mill was not on his best behavior. He was so disrespectful that the presiding judge sentenced him to an amusing punishment. The young rapper was forced to take etiquette classes to improve his manners and shape up in general. And that's all for today's video. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments section down below. I hope that you found this video interesting, and if you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. See you in the following video with some more of the latest updates, and until then, stay tuned.